Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Praise be to God. Glory, hallelujah. So we are here with another Bible story. This is from the book of Exodus, chapter 14, from verses 1 onwards. Hallelujah. So the Lord spoke to Moses and instructed Moses to turn the people of Israel from following Pharaoh. Pharaoh was the king of Egypt. That was done, and the people fled. But Pharaoh didn't like that. Even the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he pursued after the children of Israel. And the children of Israel went out with a high hand. But the Egyptians, which was Pharaoh and his army, pursued after them, and all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh, his horsemen, his army, overtook, encamping them by the sea, beside the Philahatoria, before Baal-zephon, which was where the Israelites were hiding out. That was basically the name of the Red Sea. That was the location, but it was basically by the sea that they were hiding, somewhere thereabout. And they cried out to the Lord for help, because they were most likely almost cornered by Pharaoh and his army. So they cried out for help. Some of them became afraid and was ready to quit, saying, let's just surrender to the Egyptians. It would be better than dying in the wilderness, because remember, they headed and they don't know where they're headed. All they're seeing is sea ahead. So fright started to take some of them. And then the Lord spoke to Moses and told Moses, somewhere about verses 13, tell them, don't worry. After today, you will not have to face the Egyptians today. The Lord will fight for you. Just keep going forward. Hallelujah. 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 The Lord will fight for you. Just keep going forward. So Moses delivered the message unto the Israelites. And then the Lord even spoke to Moses again, telling him, lift up his rod, stretch his hand over the sea, and part it. And as the children of Israel crossed on the dry ground, and as the sea was parted, the angels of the Lord sent forth a pillar of cloud that stood behind them, blocking the Egyptians. They tried to pursue after the Israelites, because the Egyptians, Pharaoh and his army, were persistent behind the Israelites. So they tried to come behind them, but the Lord caused the wheels of the chariots to break off. And when the wheels of the chariots broke off, the Lord allowed a wind to throw the sea back upon them and cover them. And all of them were destroyed. All of them drowned in that section of the sea, including Pharaoh. Everyone went down. And then the Israelites continued to cross cross the dry land until they came to the shore, where they saw all the Egyptians' dead bodies washing up at the seashore. And the Israelites all believed the Lord. They feared the Lord, knowing that it was the Lord alone that saved them, because they know that whole scenario was impossible without the Lord. So they all had the fear of the Lord from that point going onward. So the Lord had used Moses to introduce them to faith, and to introduce them to his wondrous works. Moses was the one that he had chosen in that moment. But God is a wondrous work. And sometimes if you feel like you're cornered in a situation, cornered in your relationship, cornered in your job, cornered in whatever it is that you're trusting God for, cornered in whatever way, just know that just as how the Lord spoke to Moses to tell the children of Israel that the Lord will fight for you, just keep going forward. I am here to tell you, as a minister of the gospel, the Lord will fight for you. Just keep going forward. Hallelujah. So whatever is that Red Sea, just trust God and have that faith and keep going forward. The Lord will fight for you, and the Lord will use anything to win that battle in that situation. Even if it is you have to use the winds, a cloud of smoke, if you have to use a random person to raise a rod or something like that, just as how he used Moses in that moment, he would same way be able to use somebody in our situation to save us from whatever it is. God is God all by himself. He doesn't need our help to be God. God is God. Hallelujah. Right, so we're still in the book of Exodus. Fast forward to chapter 16. This is when the children of Israel got hungry, and they began to murmur to Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. So they started to complain. They started to grumble, and then The Lord said unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. And Moses said, This shall be when the Lord shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to full. For the Lord heareth your murmurings which you murmur against him. And he said that your murmurings are not against me and Aaron, Your murmuring is against the Lord. Because remember, he letting them know, he only saying what God say, He not making up all these things and giving them these instructions and taking them to the wilderness just because he want to do it. Just because he want to rule over them. He doing what the Lord say to do. So he let them know that he just delivering what the voice of the Lord said. So it came to pass that the whole congregation of Israel looked towards the wilderness, and the glory of the Lord appeared on the cloud. And when the dew that lay was gone up, it means that whatever dew fall when it was evaporated, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoar frost on the ground. Moses told them that was the bread that the Lord had sent for them. And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his amount that he eats. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted. Means it was a special substance that came from heaven. It was like a coriander seed, white, and it tasted like wafers made with honey. That's how they described it, right? So Moses told them to keep a sample in an omer to show their generations as a testimony of how the Lord fed them in the wilderness. The children of Israel ate manna for 40 years until they came to a land inhabited, which was the borders of the land of Canaan. Imagine that, the Lord just feeding you from the heavens for 40 years. Hallelujah, for 40 years. And they just have to go out every morning and gather. And if they don't gather it by a certain time, it will melt away. So they have to be out by a certain time to gather that bread from the Lord. Wow, God is an amazing God. So when parting the Red Sea wasn't enough, he went and feed them again in the wilderness. It means that when he send you on a mission, he will provide for that cause. So if the Lord say do X, Y, Z, and you study, gosh, suppose I run out of money, suppose I run out of bread, suppose I run out of this, listen, if the Lord gave you an assignment, complete that assignment. Because if the voice of the Lord spoke to do something, execute it, complete that task, and he will provide within that means. The Lord has the ability to touch the heart of those that are holding your blessing, that their hands become open and they give unto you whatever you need. Not that we are looking for anything, but if the Lord could make such miracles, there's nothing else that he can't do. He could control the mind of anybody, the hand, the heart of anybody. He could make situations happen. He could create doors of opportunity. God is God. Hallelujah. God is God all by himself. You all really need to get into the book of Exodus, and that will really help you to increase your faith. Blessings. Hallelujah.